If you're an NVIDIA or Google shareholder, this week is going to be a pretty intense week for you. Let me explain why in today's episode.
I want to thank The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video, and check out fool.com/Jose for the 10 best stocks to buy now. With that link, you get a promotional offer for their subscription service. Now, let's continue with today's episode.
Right, so this week is going to be the start off of the massive earnings week, especially for big tech. And the main reason this is going to be crucial for NVIDIA and Google is Alphabet and a lot of big tech players are reporting earnings this week. Alphabet is reporting on Wednesday. And you might say, Jose, what's the deal? Why is NVIDIA included in this video? Well, NVIDIA, their biggest customers are going to be companies like Tesla, like Alphabet. And these are companies investing dramatically in AI infrastructure, especially companies like Alphabet. So the commentary that we're going to get from Alphabet via their capital expenditure, especially since we just heard that Meta Platforms, for example, is expanding kind of some massive AI infrastructures. What is Alphabet going to do? How is the AI market going? What is their AI cloud revenue looking like? What is their AI demand looking like? If all that is bullish, then it could indicate a very bullish scenario for NVIDIA. Obviously, if you see kind of capital expenditure increase from companies like Tesla, like Alphabet, that overall just trickles down to more and more revenue for NVIDIA. So while there is no direct news that is coming out from NVIDIA, these are big customers, and that indirectly will impact how analysts are projecting their numbers for this quarter, projecting future quarter three guidance for NVIDIA. So very, very crucial. And as NVIDIA being my number one position, Alphabet is going to be the thing I am watching. Now, in forms of Google, right, the Google stock, Alphabet stock, whatever you like to call it, year to date is still down roughly 2%, but it has pulled up, sitting at $185. If you guys have been watching my videos, this is a stock I've gotten a little bit more into 150s, but most of my overall position has grown dramatically in the 160s because I believe there is massive opportunity ahead. But it's not just about my thoughts. Let's kind of see what analysts are expecting from Google. And if you want to get really cool charts, this is a platform I use on a daily basis for AI, for investing in general. If you are serious about investing, it's not that expensive. Check out fiscal.ai/Jose. Again, I use it every single day, and the main reason I am partnered with them. So the first thing I want to see is what's the overall consensus in capital expenditure. This is how much they're investing to kind of grow their overall business. A good portion of this kind of goes for AI servers. Right now, analysts are expecting somewhere around $18 billion on the consensus. This is a bit higher than the last quarter, where the last quarter was closer to $17.2 billion. So we continue to see that growth. Now I kind of want to look at it. It is crucial to remember that Alphabet did increase their capital expenditure for this year. We're going to look at those numbers up to $75 billion for this year. So we want to hear that commentary there. Now we want to see revenue. So revenue for this quarter is expected to be somewhere around $94 billion. This is going to be a nice sequential growth. It is still going to be much lower than the December quarter. But remember, December for Alphabet, it is an advertisement business. That's where they make a lot of sales in ads as everybody's trying to do kind of that promotional offer. All those seasonalities happened in December. So that's why quarter four tends to be the peak for the year. But still kind of coming really close for this quarter at 94 billion, only 2 billion shy away from that December high. I think it just indicates how strong the market is seeing the growth potential in their revenue. Now for free cash flow, unfortunately, the market is expecting about $17 billion. The main reason is obviously capital expenditure is something to consider. Now, there is this massive difference that one should understand is we recently got the Big Beautiful Bill. That Big Beautiful Bill, I've talked about it in the past, allows companies to write off AI servers on year one. I want to hear from Google's management. What are they going to do? Are they going to do that? Are they going to try to do that to decrease their tax bill? And if they decrease their tax bill, it means they'll have more cash flow available for them. So it's going to be crucial especially with the free cash flow consensus, as that could be a wild card here. But we are expecting lower free cash flow than a quarter ago, but we still are expecting higher free cash flow than a year ago. A year ago, we were at roughly $13.5 billion, where here we're going to expect to be somewhere around $17 billion. So still some improvements. The final thing we are looking at here from analyst expectations, and again, fiscal.ai, all these great charts pretty quickly. Consensus is around $2.19 for earnings per share. This is down dramatically from a quarter ago. A quarter ago, they did have kind of this one-time gain. So it's not pretty great to look at it on a quarter-over-quarter basis. It's still going to be much higher than their quarter four, which was a great number for them, and still much higher than a year ago, which was $1.89. So earnings per share are seeing some improvements. Now, these are some numbers that I really like to look at. So for me, one of the biggest bullish case for Alphabet is their AI workloads, both from Gemini and from external. And that AI workload is going to see a nice amount of growth in the Google Cloud revenue segment. That segment continues to grow on a quarterly basis. More importantly, this ratio that I have here, this orange line, this is the Google Cloud ratio, and it continues to increase in the overall portion of total revenue. We can see at one point it was about 7% of total revenue. Now is sitting at closer to 14%. I want that to continue to grow. The other thing is we are seeing operating income increase for Google Cloud, and margins are increasing, right? Right now sitting at nearly 18%, where about a year ago, this was sitting closer to 11%. I want to continue to see that growth in operating margins because it does kind of show a nice bullish scenario for their overall Google Cloud business. Now, I hope you guys are enjoying the episode so far. If you are and getting a lot of information, make sure to hit the thumbs up and subscribe button. I'm trying to get 75,000 subs by the end of the year, and I would truly, truly appreciate if you can help me with that. Also, if you want the free written newsletter, I do that. Check the pinned comment below, and a lot of great promotional offers below on platforms that I use. That's a great way to support the channel if you need more tools at your disposal and things that I use on a daily basis. Next, what I want to jump into is kind of just take a super quick overview of quarter one 2025. So the first thing is the company did increase their capital expenditure for the full year. So we want to continue to hear that. Google Cloud revenue last quarter grew 28%. And like I mentioned, that cloud operating income continues to grow at some dramatic levels. So for the full year of capital expenditure, Google spent about $55 billion in 2024. The estimation for this year was around $75 billion. We want to make sure that continues to be the case, or as an NVIDIA shareholder, you actually would want them to increase it a little bit more, as that would be very, very bullish for that AI company. Now, most of that is obviously used in AI servers, so that's why you want to see that. Now, like I mentioned, Google Cloud is growing here. We're looking at their revenue versus a year ago and operating incomes versus a year ago. And we kind of are seeing those operating margins increase like I talked about earlier in the episode. So just kind of a quick overview of what happened compared to last quarter. Now, obviously, another thing is the company last quarter did give us a lot of AI revolution in action. For example, they talked about growth in AI studios. They talk about how internal code is AI suggested over 30%, monthly users for AI overviews. And they kind of talk about how they have this integrated AI flywheel where they have NVIDIA and internal TPUs, as well as various models, and seeing great performance and the integration. They have deployed their AI models across 15 plus major products and internal workflows already. I mean, me, for example, I use now Gemini almost on a daily basis, integrated with my calendar, with my emails, with Gemini app, and I think they are going to be a massive, massive leader here. Now, again, I want to look at kind of a quarter two 2025 earnings preview. We talked a little bit about it, but I kind of want to give you a nice overview here. So revenue is expected to be roughly $93.75 billion. Diluted earnings per share consensus is around $2.15. Operating margins of 33.5. Now, here is year-over-year comparison. For Google Cloud, this is going to be crucial. Google Cloud by analysts is expected to grow 26% year over year. So that number is something you're going to want to watch. Anything lower than that could trigger a sell-off. Anything higher than that could be a very strong sign for the AI market, which could be very bullish for NVIDIA. Earnings per share is expected to grow 13%. GAAP revenue is expected to grow 11%. And the search and other business is expected to grow 10%. Anything below that, especially in the search and other ads, if you see some slower growth there, you're going to continue to hear that AI search killing story. So you're going to want to make sure search and other ads continue to outperform. So like I mentioned, search and AI overviews. Right now, early data on click-through, ad load, and user retention for AI mode and deep search are things we're going to want to look at. Why it matters? Because any cannibalization from AI-generated answers is one of the biggest bearish case for Google. So any changes there could be super important. Any Gemini monetization, seeing more of an RPO of Google Cloud, and just understanding more of the regulatory overhang. We kind of see some of the potential Chrome divestitures, some of the EU Digital Market Act's compliance costs. Continue to hear what the company has to mention. Now, these are my best scenarios and my miss scenarios. My miss scenarios, like I mentioned, is search growth is less than that 10%, even lower than 9%, and cloud growth is lower than that 26%, even lower than 24%. That could trigger massive sell-offs for Google. Now, the beat scenario is revenue over 94%, earnings per share of over $2.20, cloud growth actually growing even faster than the market expects, even 27% plus, and search growing at like 11%. That would be a best scenario. And especially, at least for revenue, earnings per share, and cloud growth, I can see those actually happening. For the search growth, I'm not saying I'm bearish against it, but I think 10% is actually pretty healthy. Now, there are some wildcards in this AI market, and those wildcards are any early data from new local search AI agents, and how Google might be transforming into that, and any hint of the Department of Justice and any divestiture of any update to that could be our wildcards that investors might see a massive reaction towards the stock. Overall, I am actually leaning more to the beat scenario and the best scenario here, but the market is always wonky. For example, Google Cloud growth is all dependent on how quickly they can build AI servers. And the company mentions that right now they are very constrained demand in supply versus demand. So they don't have enough AI servers to kind of pull all that. And the only way they can grow revenue is if they're able to build AI servers faster. And most of their AI servers are actually happening in the second half of this year, not this first half. So if that continues to be the case, it's understandable if maybe we don't see the biggest cloud growth. But I'm more bullish on the beat scenario than the miss scenario here. Now, some great news that we've seen in the past few months is OpenAI says it will use Google Clouds for ChatGPT. That could be a great way to kind of talk about Google's cloud RPO, potential revenue growth in cloud business. So great win there. Sundar, the CEO of Google, talked a few things that their security team talked that an AI agent, Big Sleep, helped them detect a foil an imminent exploit. And we believe this is the first for an AI agent. Definitely not the last. So you can kind of see AI innovating already. Sundar also mentioned a lot of great features coming from their AI platforms to search and to other platforms. And they even give us kind of a monthly of all the things they dropped this past month. I believe Google is really winning in the AI space, and this just proves it in my opinion. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's update. I think it's going to be great. I think this is very crucial for both NVIDIA and Google. If you had to have my thoughts, I think Google is going to be fine. And the great thing as a long-term investor, even if maybe this quarter doesn't outperform and stock prices drop, I would see that as a massive buying opportunity, because from everything that I'm seeing, Google is going to be a massive player in this AI race, and in the ad market and in the cloud market. And that to me, it's obviously not a guaranteed, but I think the probability of success is great. So if we do get a buying opportunity, if somehow we see stock prices drop, for me, I'm just going to give you the too long don't watch of a video I haven't made. It would be a buying opportunity. But I believe that this is going to be a strong quarter, and for NVIDIA as well. Again, I don't really care about the price action in the short term for the reasons that I mentioned. Long-term tailwinds are still intact. But I wanted to give you those updates, and I hope you guys did enjoy it. Also, if you are done with this video and you want to learn more, if you are a Micron shareholder, I just did a Micron video, really highly recommend it. Check it out right here. And also, maybe if you want to learn more about if I would choose NVIDIA or AMD right now, the videos would be up here. I'm not sure which one I'm going to put, but those are two crucial videos that you should watch next. Take care, have a good day, and see you all next time.